Welcome back to the channel, everyone. Today we're going to finally assemble this beautiful K5 Blazer body. Over the past couple months, I've gone ahead and built a custom chassis to slam this thing on the ground and have a nice low riding truck. We've done a lot of body modifications and got it painted up. Just a quick side note, I've noticed in some of my editing that this color kind of shows up red on camera. This isn't red. Hopefully I can get you a better shot where you can actually see the true color. This is root beer candy for those of you who aren't aware. It's a beautiful color, but that's not what we're focusing on today. The body's all painted up, so now we have to go ahead and install all those little details, get the body assembled so we can mount it on that chassis and start driving this thing around. To get you caught up where I'm at right now, we've gone ahead and done some things to get prepared, like assemble the grill. This is a two-piece grill, so it's been put together. I've also finished off the bed. If you've been following the build along, you'll know I built this hump in the bed to cover up the chassis and suspension components that stick through the bed floor, as well as created some new tubs for those wheels to tuck up nice and neat. But I hadn't done anything with the bed floor itself, hadn't even painted it. And this is why. This is actually just some EVA foam. I basically wanted to mimic the look of HydroTurf. If you don't know what HydroTurf is, it's used a lot in marine industry and fishing. It's a foam that they put on the deck of boats. Really soft on the feet. It looks nice. It's easy to clean. And I've actually been seeing it in a couple of full-scale builds lately. People are putting it in the beds of trucks instead of wood. There's actually some HydroTurf that looks similar to wood, and it's pretty easy to maintain. It looks pretty cool in the bed of a truck. I figured it was a pretty easy solution for me to finish off the interior of this truck. I think it came out pretty good. But now we can start going ahead and putting the rest of this body together. I have the manual here because there's a lot of small parts and I want to make sure I install them correctly. We've rambled along enough. Let's get started on the build. A simple start with these nice little marker lights we painted up. Painted them the white of the top of the body just to give us some contrast in the front end along with that grille. Onto the grill next, which popped in just like it says in the manual, but I have to make sure I put in my body mounts that I created. Next up, we actually have the side markers. The lenses of these would normally be painted like an orange or amber, I believe, but I'm gonna leave them clear. I don't want any orange sticking out the side of this body. I just think the clear will look better with the scheme we have going here. We are now getting to put glass in this body for the very first time. Funny enough, I never realized that the side glass actually get glued in, but we have to do a bit of trimming. My mounts for my door panels actually get in the way of these glass. So we just gotta trim a little bit there on the bottom, if you can see. That way my door panels will fit right up against it. That took a bit more than I expected to get those glass in there, but they're in now, glued into place, and we're just about ready for the door panels to go in. First up, we have door handles, and also the brake lights are next. If you are wondering why you didn't get to see any footage of the tail lights going in, that's because they were a pain to install. I don't think RC4WD Drive assumed people were going to be painting these tail light buckets as well as putting the amount of paint that I put on the body. It was pretty rough to get them in there, but we got that finished up now. Not looking forward to having to take that back off to put the lights in. I wish I would have had the lights ready already to put in, but that's another problem for another day. Next up is the mirrors, so we can go ahead and put the interior in. I actually don't remember if I covered this part in a previous video, but I went ahead and made my own mirrors. I didn't like the size of the mirrors that came with the body, so I made some simple round ones. They'll install the same way as the factory ones do. And then I believe it's time to install that interior for the first time. Well, it looks like it's finally time to get this interior in for good, but we first have to go ahead and put our door panels in. The full interior tray will just screw in just like before, but I need to glue my door panels in place and then we can slide that interior in. Simple enough to get the tailgate installed, and now we can go ahead and put the rear glass on the back. Finally, time to install this top now. Things are starting to get serious. Again, I apologize for not getting any of that on camera, but that was pretty tough to do, getting my hands inside of there, making sure the posts sit where they need. You can probably see I ended up getting a little bit of CA glue on the inside of the glass here accidentally, but I do believe I can get that off. I have some stuff that should take that right off. I haven't really looked yet, but I believe the next part in the manual is getting the hood mounted, and that has been done before, so that should be pretty straightforward. And after that, we just have bumpers. I kept you guys waiting more than long enough to see this thing fully together, so I couldn't tease you any longer. Yes, the body is complete and actually mounted to the chassis now. There is a little work left to do, but for the most part, this thing is together. I believe everything left is electronics. I have lights to put in the front, as well as I have some tail lights on order that should be in soon. And then I have to go ahead and clean up the wiring again and really try this thing out. I'll be completely honest, this body is a little heavier than I thought fully assembled, and I'm a little nervous about lifting it up with those servos. Not the strength of the servos, I don't think. I'm just worried about the quick action, hoping nothing breaks. If anything does, we'll just have to try to fix it when we run across it. I'm beyond satisfied with this though. This color came out great. It looks awesome sitting on those bronze wheels. Even the hood, when you open up the hood, it looks as it should in there. We get to see that motor sitting down in there and everything's all covered up and tidy. It looks really nice and finished, and that's exactly what I was going for. The interior looks great through the glass, even though I do have to do a little cleaning to some of these glass. You can see some smudge marks on the inside here. But even through the tailgate and that rear glass, seeing that hump back there and the suspension coming through is exactly what I imagined. And I really just love the way that that finished off. So like I said, there is a little more work to be done, but I couldn't let you guys wait any longer to see this thing fully together. I had been waiting a long time for this, and I know you guys have as well. It's been a couple of months since I started this project. You guys have been following along with me. Should only be one more video on the project though, and that'll be installing the lights and actually getting it driving. You'll get to see it drive with the body for the first time whenever I do in that next video. So I hope you all enjoyed the video. Leave a like if you're loving how this thing came out as much as I did, or if you enjoyed following along the process at all. I make all these videos just to entertain us all anyway, so make sure to subscribe so you don't miss this thing running and driving for the first time, fully assembled, coming soon, and when we finally take it out to a car show next month. Until then, as always, thanks again for watching. Peace.